Aeneid, Book 1, lines 142 to 161. In this passage, we have Neptune concluding his speech to the winds, castigating them for defying his numen, his divine authority over the water. And he has stopped himself because he knows Praestat, it is better to calm the sea. After his ominous warning to Aeolus, he ends. Sic ait, thus he speaks, and dictokitios. Kitios here is a comparative adverb. More swiftly than a word, dicto is an ablative of comparison here. With that comparative adverb, kitios, he calms the swollen seas, and he fugat, chases away the gathered clouds. Please note this is fugo fugare, which means to chase away actively, not fugio fugare, which means to flee or escape. First conjugation verb. And he brings back the sun. Kimothoe and at the same time Triton, after he had strained, you do not need to know who these characters are. They are Nereids / children maybe of Poseidon. Don't worry about it. But again, Kimothoe and Tryon both are the subject of the plural verb detrudunt. So Kimothoe and at the same time Triton, after straining, extract or take off the ships from the sharp rock, which they had been beached on by the storm of the winds earlier, ablative of means. He himself, here of course refers to Neptune, lifts them, understood, with his trident, ablative of means. And he clears, aperio literally opens, clears the vast shoals and calms the sea. Do not forget, ichor, of course, is a neuter noun, so that is a neuter accusative object of temperat. And he glides through perlabitur, from perlabor, deponent verb, which is why it looks passive but translates active. He glides through the tops of the waves with light wheels, as we see in this image here from a mosaic from Tunisia. Next, we have our first. First, before we do that, let's talk about some word order interesting things. In line 147, we have here rotis, modifying levibus, modified by levibus, sumas here modifying undas, which of course gives us a lovely synchesis word order. Synchesis is interlocking word order. ABA, BAB, interlocking word order. Now we enter our first epic simile of the entire Aeneid. It's very interesting epic simile. We'll talk about it more in class, but let's talk about the grammar of it. Velut e is just well plus uti as, so just as, in a great people. Cum here with this indicative coorte est, therefore must be translated when a seditio, an uprising, often has arisen, and the common crowd, the unnoble crowd, sivit here, seethes in their minds, and now torches and rocks fly. Madness, furor, ministrat, equips arma, weapons, or supplies weapons. Then, all the way here to the sea for the introduction of this clause here. This is an if clause. And with that lovely indicative, it is something that may in fact happen. If, by chance, now this forte here is nothing to do with brave. It has everything to do with by chance, like fortuna. If, by chance, they have seen, now this is one of those syncopated, perfect indicative, if they have seen A man. By the way, this quem here, even though it's two words after it, it is in fact after a C. Hence, after si nisi nomine, Ali takes a holiday. If by chance they have seen some man, grawem, serious. And here we have two ablatives limiting or specifying the nature of that seriousness. Heaviness, heavy, serious in his piety and his meritis, his deeds. Again, not just how one is on the inside, but what actions they have that manifest as a result of the pietas. Again, then, if by chance they have seen some man, grave or serious in his piety and his deeds, they grow silent, silent, and they astant, stand with ears auribus erectis, upraised. Now, you can do a few things with that particular ablative. You could go ablative of manner. You could even consider an ablative absolute. Absolutely. Dealer's choice. But the image of this epic simile is a person in the middle of a mob scene in Rome, or any major city, but it's Rome, calming down a crowd. He rules them. Ille again refers to the man who is with piety. He rules them with words, and he rules their minds rather with words, ablative of means, and he calms them, calms their pectora, their hearts, their chests, their breasts, and the above refined. Seek, we are now exiting simile land. In this way, the whole uproar of the sea has fallen. Cado cadere, to fall. And afterwards, looking out at the Aikora, the sea, the genitor here, of course, refers to Neptune again, the father, driven off in the open sky, turns his horses and flying, volo volare, not volo vele, flying, or as he flies, he gives the reins to his favorable chariot. To be perfectly honest with you, we're not quite sure what's going on with secundo. That is one possible interpretation. But it is dative modifying kuru. You could argue, word order-wise, that back in 153, we do have a chiasmus, A, B, then B, A, word order, woo, with the regit to animos pectora mulcet, but that's entirely your interpretation. Okay, de thesi Aeneid. Here we have the outcome. The worn out followers of Aeneas. Now, Aeneid here is a patronymic, which is interesting because Aeneas only actually has one actual biological son, but the followers of Aeneas also use the patronymic. The worn out followers of Aeneas. Contendo, they strive to seek the shore which is nearest by a crossing. We'd almost say like as the crow flies. But remember, they're stuck in the water and they got to make a swim for it. So again, they strive to seek the shores which, imply the verb to be, are nearest. By the crossing, by its crossing. And they are turned to the shores of Libya. Now that vertuntur here, they are turned, or you can go ahead and they turn themselves. More on that later. Est, there is in a long inlet a place. An island makes a port, note portus portus, fourth declension noun, not portae gate. So again, an island makes a gate by the sticking out of its sides. By these, the entire wave is broken off from the deep and cuts itself into waves which have been led back on themselves. More on that in class. But please do note that omnis here is modifying unda in the next line, 161.